Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to turn this doll into this one. In my unboxing videos, I showed you a bunch of quality problems with these dolls, so I was determined to give them all makeovers and turn them into dolls that I really love. I already repainted my purple gamer cat. You can watch my process tutorial in my BJD makeovers playlist linked below. By the way, I got all of these dolls from KikaGoods.com. You can get 10% off your purchase at KikaGoods with my exclusive promo code. If you're enjoying my BJD doll tutorials and reviews, remember to hit like and subscribe. I just started making videos earlier this year, so you'll be helping me out a lot. Alright, let's get started! In my previous video, I showed you how to give this doll a darker skin color using fabric dye. I added the link to the video description so that you can easily find it. Here's my doll that I dyed a darker color with some eyes that I made. Before I started working on her face, I drew a plan for her makeup in Procreate. You can see my drawing on the left side. I used this as my reference image while doing her makeup, and I actually do this for all of the dolls that I remake. I always start by lightly sketching out the eyeliner. This will help you with blush and eyeshadow placement. I'm using a black watercolor pencil. I'm putting the hair on her face to make sure the eyeliner placement is correct. I don't want it to be hidden behind her bangs. To me, sketching the eyeliner is the most crucial stage because it will affect how your whole face will look. So go slow and take your time to make sure it looks exactly the way you want. At this stage, you can still erase if you make a mistake. I'm using a kneaded eraser, but you can also use any regular eraser. I'm sharpening my pencil before moving on to the left eye. I like to sharpen with a knife because you can get a much finer point than using a pencil sharpener, and it wastes less pencil. By the way, all of my tools are in my BJD supplies list linked in the description below. Now for the eyeliner on the left eye. I'm happy with how the eyeliner sketch looks. Now I'm just checking that both sides are even. I'm putting on her bangs to check how it looks. Great, now we're ready to move on to the next step. I want this doll to have glittery eyeshadow, so I'm drawing her eyelid crease with a brown watercolor pencil. This will help me place her glitter and eyeshadow later. Here I'm drawing the bottom eyeliner and drawing the mouth line with a brown pencil. Now I'm ready to seal my work with a matte spray, so I'm removing the eyes before spraying. While I'm waiting for the sealant to dry, I'll prepare my blush palette. I'm using multiple colors so that I can blend various combinations for different parts of the face and body. I typically use a warm color for the ears, like an orange or peachy pink. For the blush, I'm starting with a cool tone for the base, and I'll layer a warm tone on top. Since this doll has a darker skin color, I have to seal and build up a few layers of blush to get the color to really show up. I'm adding some warm blush between her eyes, building up more blush on her cheeks. This time I'm shifting to a warmer tone. Here's how it looks after I sealed it again. As you can see, the blush color has faded a bit, so I'll need to add more. I'm using a brown color to warm up the area below her chin and around the edges of her face. Adding a final layer of blush. Here's what she looks like so far. Now for the eyeshadow. I'm blending 3 different pearl pigments to create an icy blue color. And before you ask, do not use real eyeshadow for your doll. Eyeshadow contains oils that can stain or damage your doll's face. What I'm using are pigments intended for artistic use. I'm using a dry brush to apply the loose pigment on the face. When I'm done, I'll spray and seal it with my clear matte finish. Now I'm painting white just on the outer corners of her eyes. I'm painting over the eyeliner sketch using a dark blue, almost a black color. Did you know that I actually try to avoid using pure black in my doll makeup? It's just a personal preference that I've carried with me since I first learned how to paint. I added a bit more eyeshadow, but some of it went into the eyeliner, so I'm cleaning it up with a clean paintbrush dipped in water. Adding some iridescent glitter to the eyelid. I'm painting over the eyeliner one more time just to make sure there's no glitter in it. The bottom eyeliner wasn't showing up very well, so I'm painting over it with a reddish-brown color. Penciling in the bottom lashes, I like to sketch the eyelashes before painting over them because I can erase if I mess up. Going over the mouth line with paint, and then slowly building up the lips using thin layers of paint. I thought that she needed a little bit more blush, so I'm adding some more. I'm using lighter and darker variations of her lipstick color to add some more dimension within her lips. This is actually the most difficult part of the face because the lips are so tiny. I'm using a brown pencil to add some shading above and below her lips. Because her face is flat around the mouth, this will give the lips a lot more dimension. I'm painting over the bottom eyelashes that I drew earlier. I'm going over her eyelid line with pencil again because the eyeshadow covered it up. And then I'm painting over it to give it a sharper line. For this eyelid line, I like layering paint over the pencil because it softens the line just a little bit. Now here's my favorite part, doing the details inside of the eyeliner and the eyelashes. Her hair is light blue, so I want her eyelashes to be the same. I'm sketching in the eyelashes before painting over it. I'm using the same dark blue color as the eyeliner. Does anyone else do this? I'm right-handed, and turning the head upside down actually helps me get the left side symmetrical with the right side. I'm adding the lighter blue color on top of the eyelashes. More eyelashes, but this time they're inside of the eyeliner. Time to do the other side with my upside down method. She's really starting to come together. I'm adding blue shading to the white part of her eye. This will help the eye look more 3D and realistic. I only shaded the right side so you can see the difference. The left side doesn't have any shading in the white part and looks a lot more flat. Now we'll finish shading the left side. I'm darkening the inner corner of the eyes with a black pencil to give more contrast against her skin. Here's another fun part. I use this ball-tipped tool to make perfectly circular highlights on the face. It's double-ended with different size balls on each side. I dip it in some paint and apply it to the doll's face. I'm using it to make peach-colored highlights on her cheeks. I use the bigger end of the tool here. Now I'm using the smaller end for these secondary highlights. I'm penciling in the eyebrows with white. Make sure to put the bangs on at this stage to make sure the eyebrows go well with her hair shape. I'm adding a bit of shading underneath the eyebrows so that they stand out a little better. Now let's put the hair back on to see how she looks. Oh my gosh, she's looking really cute so far. Okay, we're in the final stretch here. This doll shows a lot of skin, so I'm adding blushing to her knees, neck, collarbone, shoulders, and her tummy. Here's a pair of eyes that I made for this doll. I have a tutorial on how to make these eyes linked in the description below. Let's use sticky putty to attach the eyes to her face. I don't like the putty that the doll originally came with, so I'm using a much better brand which is in my BJD supplies list. Here's her finished face. I added some gloss to her eyeliner and lips. I wanted to show you guys what it looked like without her body or hair so you can see all the details clearly. Here she is, all put together. What do you think? There aren't very many BJD dolls with dark skin out there, and I thought this doll would be the perfect one to try a dark skin color and makeup. I really love how she turned out. Her white outfit is a really great contrast to her darker skin tone, and I got to give her sparkly eyeshadow instead of my usual natural look. You can see her next to the previous doll that I repainted. These are both from the 10,000 Escape Plans Blind Box BJD series. I got them at kikagoods.com. Again, you can get 10% off Kika Goods with my exclusive promo code. If you liked this tutorial, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. My next BJD makeover is going to be this angel doll, and I have a few more that I have yet to unbox and review. So stay tuned for my next BJD makeover tutorials and honest reviews. Thanks for watching!